Hello everyone, welcome to my new tutorial on modern Art Deco lettering. So today we are going to create this artwork together. This artwork comprises of an Art Deco lettering composition. So we're going to start by creating this letter design. And then once we're done with that, we're going to add in our Art Deco geometric background and then add some textures, reflections, shadows to get this amazing, beautiful lettering piece. So today we are going to be using the Modern Art Deco Lettering Toolkit. I created this toolkit because I love creating Art Deco letters. However, the process can be a bit technical because you need to draw the shapes properly and size them properly, which can be tricky, especially if you're a beginner. So I wanted to speed up my own lettering process in creating Art Deco style. That is why I created this template, and I'm here to share it with you guys today. So we will be creating on Procreate, but the modern Art Deco lettering toolkit is available in different formats as well. So if you prefer drawing on Photoshop, the templates are available in Photoshop formats as well as Photoshop brushes. It's also available in Affinity Designer templates and Affinity Designer brushes. Here, we're going to use the Procreate brush versions. Also, you can also import the Procreate template, which is totally fine. And if you use other drawing software aside from Photoshop Affinity or Procreate, don't worry because this template is available in PDF version and as well as transparent PNG files. So you just get those files and import it to whatever drawing software or drawing app that you are using. So I will go through the tablet itself in a while, as well as the other inclusions inside this toolkit to help us create this beautiful piece. I hope you're excited. I'm super excited to start this amazing piece with everyone. So if you haven't yet, make sure to import the brush to your software. So if you're using Procreate, make sure you import the brushes. Or if you just want to open up the tablet, that's totally fine. So let's start by opening a new canvas. But before that, I just want to show or share with you some of the other artworks that I've done so far. So all of these are made with the Art Deco template. There. For this one is actually an animation. But anyway, so let's open a new canvas. I kind of want to work on or work with a 3000 by 3000 pixels. So this is what I'll be using. Then we're going to open up our brush set and an Art Deco. And here, as you can see, you have the tablet here as a first item of your brush. And then you have this alphabet guide right here. So the alphabet guide, it shows you or it gives you the options on how to draw the other letters. So if you don't know how to draw Art Deco letter styles, don't worry because this toolkit doesn't only include template, it also includes some guides and it also gives you options, 5 different options on how you could draw a certain letter. So you could choose which style you want to do and then recreate it here on your canvas. So as you can see, the letters here, they are broken down into parts and color coded. The color coding makes it easier for you to choose the right shapes from the template so that you'll be able to easily recreate these letters. So you could always go through or refer to this guide right here below. So if you see parts that are colored yellow, it is made of circles. If it's purple, it's made with ellipses. And if it's green, it's made with half ellipsis, which you'll see in the template later. If it's red, it's a vertical bar. Orange is a horizontal bar. And if it's blue, it's diagonal. So now let's stamp in our template into our canvas. So make sure you select the first brush, which is the template. then tap it on the screen. So once you tap it on the screen, try to center it like this. Okay. If you stamp the template and then you have like a lot of spaces around it, try to undo and restamp the template with a bigger brush size right here on the side so that you can get as much coverage as you want so that your letters are going to be as high res as possible. So once we're done with this, we're going to select using the rectangle selection tool. We're going to select this grid right here. And then we're going to cut and paste so that our grid is going to be on a separate layer right here. So after that, let me just bring the opacity down a bit to 20% so that it's not too distracting, but still visible. So this is the guide that we're going to use to ensure that our letters have consistent heights. So as you can see, you have multiple lines right here. If you want to create smaller letters, feel free to use the other lines as guide on how tall your letters are going to be. So after we're done with our grid, let's also bring the opacity down for our template, maybe, maybe about 20% as well. And then make sure you turn on reference because what we're going to do is we're going to color drop the parts there, which makes it easier. And then after this, you're all set up. Now you can start to create your Art Deco letters. So open up a new layer. Quote that we're going to work on today is great things await. So the first letter is the letter G. If you don't know how to draw the letter G, you can refer to this guide right here. So as you can see, we have different options. So I think let's go with the first one right here. So it's a very round G and a horizontal line like that. But I kind of want to add like a vertical stem right here, something similar to this. So feel free to follow this exactly, or you're free to explore other ways to draw the letters as well. So this is just a guide, but feel free to create it however you want. So going back to our layer, make sure the new layer is selected. So for the letter G, we're going to need this circle right here. Okay. So to select that, simply color drop it there. And now you have the circular section for your letter G. Super easy, right? Okay, for the G, there's an opening here, right? So you want to cut it. That's why we have all of these lines right here. It's going to help us cut it perfectly. So we're going to use selection on freehand, and then we're going to choose wide we don't how wide we want the opening to be. So let's say on the third, tap that line, tap the center, tap the third line below, close them, and then erase there. Easy, right? Okay, when we're done with that, we're going to add in our next part. So the next part is going to be the vertical line. But before that, let's move this all the way up and make sure it's centered right here. There you go. Let's move this here a little bit. There. So we want to add like a vertical stem right here, a vertical section. So here for the templates, we have the vertical bars. So all you have to do is color drop to the size that you want, maybe this one. And then using selection tool, we're going to select that and bring it up to here. So let's just connect it in the corner. So it's going to be nice and clean like that. Zoom out. There you go. So if you want to adjust this, I kind of want to shorten it a little bit. So I'm just selecting a section on top and then moving it down. Maybe here. There. Perfect. Now for the horizontal part, it's going to be a super short horizontal bar. So let's go grab that here. Under the horizontal bars, we have this short horizontal bar. Let's select that and move that all the way up. And then let's connect it here. There. Kind of want to shorten this a bit. So I'm going to select that. Oops. Select that and move it a little bit to the right. There. Easy, right? You now have your Art Deco letter G. So as you can see, I work in just one layer. You could do that. Or if you want to be able to move the parts or adjust them a little bit, feel free to add each section or add each part of the letter into individual layers so that you can easily adjust things later on. Okay, so next letter is the letter R. Let's open up a new layer. And then let's grab a vertical bar because the letter R is going to be a vertical line right here and a curve and an angle, right? Again, if you're not familiar with the Art Deco style of the letter R, you could always check this guide right here. So we're going to create something like this. The first letter R like that. Okay. Vertical line, a curve, and diagonal angle. So let me erase that and zoom back out. So the first part we're going to need is the vertical bar right here. Okay. The next is a circular bar or a circle like this, but we only need about a small part of it. So I'm using the rectangular selection to select and erase one side there. And then the last part is the leg, the diagonal leg. So I think I'll just get this one and just cut it down to maybe this size right here. Perfect. So let me show you why working on separate layers is going to be easier. That's because you can select this curve right here, cut and paste into a new layer, select the original layer, and then select this diagonal part. Oops, not duplicate, cut and paste there. And then when we're done, we can bring them one at a time. So let's bring the vertical bar here. Next, select the layer for the curve or the bowl right here. And the last part is this diagonal. Let's move it up. Maybe like this. And then I'll just use my eraser to erase the excess. So it has this tiny thing right here. So let me just erase that. There. Then let's merge everything. And we now have our letter R. Easy, right? Okay, let's move on to the next letter. The next letter is the letter E. So on a new layer, let's color drop it here to the vertical bar. Just bring it up, make sure it is centered, and bring it to the side right here. I feel like the letter E is quite obvious. So let me just drag the horizontal sections like that. And then let me select all three horizontal bars and move it up, zoom in, and like that. Connect it like that. Easy, right? So for this one, let's bring this closer. So I'm selecting the top and bottom bar so that I can move it a little bit to the left right here. And then let me select everything or like about half of it and bring it to the left a little bit more like that. Perfect. So it looks like there's this little extension or little excess right here. So I'm just using the rectangular selection to erase that. Perfect. If you want to bring this middle bar down, so just select that and make sure you select up to the edge right there. Zoom out and let's bring it down just a little bit. Yeah, I think this is perfect. Before, after. Perfect. Okay. Easy, right? Next letter is the letter A. Let's open up a new layer. So for the A, let's try to do like a curve on an arc on the left side and a vertical bar on the right. Oh, I mean, a curve on the left and a vertical bar on the right. So as you can see, it's something similar to this one. Let me just select that, the guide for the letter A, and we're going to create something like this. So let's curve and vertical, or something like this, but narrower, right? So as you can see, if you can zoom it in, you can see that this is green, and then this is red, and this is orange. So the green is half ellipsis. So we're going to get from the half ellipsis template for the curved part, and for the vertical, it's going to be the red, and the orange is going to be the horizontal. So remember that. So let's get from the half ellipsis templates. So here you have the option of a narrow, normal, and wide. So it's up to you which size that you want or which width. So if you want to create a thin or a narrow letter A, you can use this narrow one. If you want something not so, something in the middle, so you could just select from narrow. If you want something really wide, you can get from the wide. So I want something narrow, because what I like about Art Deco is I want to mix different widths. I want to mix in letters that are wide, letters that are narrow. So that's how I want to create and balance my Art Deco lettering. So we're going to get this half ellipsis, the narrow one, the largest one, because we want it to be full height right here from our grid. But since for this one, we only need 1/2, so the easiest way is to just bring it to the edge, make sure it snaps to the center, and then close that. And then when you move that back in, you can see that Procreate cut it in half because half of it went to, the half of it went outside our canvas, so it automatically cuts half of it for us. That's like a super quick tip. So now let's just flip it and then snap it to the bottom right here. Snap it to the base. Then move it maybe here. There. Now for the vertical, let's just color drop this vertical bar. Select that and move it all the way up. Make sure you align it at the base. And then it's up to you how wide you want it to be. I'm going to look at the R. So I want to give it almost the same width. Okay, I think this looks good. Now let's make it a bit narrower. Yeah, I think this looks fine. Okay, perfect. So for this one, you have something like this. You could always just select the part right here, duplicate that, and then just move it up. Then merge everything. There you go. No drawing. Just use the existing parts of the letters to complete your letter. So we're done with the vertical part. Now let's do the horizontal section. So let's go here, horizontal bars, maybe this one. Let's select this and bring it all the way up. Right here. There. And then let's bring this in. Whoops. Bring this in, maybe like this. There. Great. Then the last letter is the letter T. It's going to be super easy. Open up a new layer, color, drop the vertical bar, move it up, aligning it to the base, move it to the side. There we go. And from here, open up, okay, we don't need to open up a new layer. We could just color drop the horizontal bar, maybe this one. Select that, bring it up, up. I'll just center this, that, there. Great. Then let's just move this closer to the letter A. There you go. the first word. Great. Super easy, right? Let's just hide these as we start the next letter. So next letter is T as well. So let's just duplicate the T and move it to the left. There you go. Next is the letter H. So open up a new layer and then color drop these two vertical vertical bars right here. There you go. I missed the first time. It's okay. Select them, move them closer to each other. Maybe this width is fine. And move it up to our grid to align perfectly. And then maybe here. And then let's get a horizontal bar. So let's come back here and maybe this one. Let's select that and move it all the way up. And I want to extend it to the other side because with the T, you have some space here, right? So you can play with the composition a bit or with the letters. So instead of just something that's up to here, you may want to extend it a bit just so that your letters are interacting with each other a little bit more. So let me just bring it all the way down right here. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. There you go. Next letter is the letter I. So on a new layer, let me just grab that, bring it up, move it to the side. Okay. The next letter is the letter N. So I'll just duplicate this twice. Move the first one to the side. The second one will be here. Okay. And then on a new layer, let's get a diagonal. So it's up to you. If you want something that's really steep like this, if you want something that's angled a little bit more like that, if you want something wider, like if you want something that has a bigger angle, so just select this one. If you want something that's really small, you could choose from this. So yeah, it's up to you on how wide or how narrow you want your angle to be. So you can always experiment. Okay. The first thing you choose doesn't have to be perfect. So you could just try some out and see if it works for you or if it doesn't. So I think I'll try the wide. Since I only need a small one, I'll just get this one. Then I'll just move it to the side to cut it in half like that before I bring it up right here. Okay. I feel like it's too, I mean, like I feel like I want to change the angle a bit. So let me erase that and get from this one. Let's try to get here. See if it works. Cut it on the side before bring it all the way up. Okay, I think that angle doesn't work. So let's undo that. I mean, let's just erase and choose maybe this angle. Maybe this angle. So you have different options allowing you to customize it the way you want it. Yeah, I think this works better because with the Art Deco style that I want to make, I want it, I want like the middle bar. So if there's like an imaginary middle bar or like an X height, I want it really low or really high. That's why I don't want an angle that looks like the normal letter N. So now that I'm happy with this, I think I can now merge. Oops, before I merge them, I'll just erase the excess right there and then merge all of these together there. Next letter is letter G, so I'll just duplicate the letter G. So since I want to duplicate it on top, I'll just drag it to the center. So it's going to make a duplicate on top. And then I'm just going to move it here, like that. And then the next letter is the letter S. So the letter S is, I think, the most challenging letter. But don't worry, don't worry about it. I'll show you how easy it is to create using this. So if you look at the S right here, so you have several options for the letter S, but I'm going to show you one right here real quick. Okay, so for the letter S, you want two circles, one on top, one at the bottom, and a diagonal line. So I'll show you how easy it is. So let's open up 3 new layers. Okay, so for the first layer, let's use a small circle. And for the third layer, let's use a larger circle. And then for the middle layer, let's choose like a diagonal. Maybe let's use this one. Okay, so we're going to select the layers and bring it up. For this one, for diagonal one, let's cut it in half by pushing it to the side before bringing it to our grid. Okay. So for the smaller one, let's bring it up. As you can see, we're not going to end here. We're going to align it to the top of the G because we need some overshoot so that our S doesn't look like it's smaller. So for the G as well, not aligned to the end, but aligned to the base of the curved letter G like that. Perfect. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring the opacity down like that, as well as for the diagonal. And then let's just move it here. So for this one, we just want to align it here. You see where like the curve and this diagonal line meets? You want to make sure that you find like a spot wherein they're overlapping. Not unlike this, you can see that some parts of the diagonal and some parts of the circle are still not overlapped. As you can see, you have lighter shade here, lighter shade here. You want to make sure that they touch each other like that. When you're done with the part at the bottom, you can now do it on top. So we're going to move this circle horizontally to do the same thing. So make sure, like, okay, there, this is perfect. You see that? Now it overlaps perfectly. And then when we're done with that, let's clean this up a bit. So let's start with the diagonal. We're going to use freehand. So we're just going to select this piece, making sure that you cut it at the cleanest point. Erase here as well. We're going to select this bottom part and cross it here where it meets and erase. There. Easy, right? And then next is for the top. So it's up to you how extended you want your letter S. So if you want your S to start here, you can cut it there. If you want to start here, you can cut it there. So it's up to you. I kind of want to start here. So I'm going to select everything and make sure you align it to the guide as well. There you go. You want to have little overlap like that. But that's okay if you have overlap like this because we're going to bring up the opacity later and then it's not going to be visible anymore. Now for the bottom part, so it's up to you if you want your S to end up to here or here, here, all the way up. It's up to you. So making sure I select the right layer using selection tool. Again, on freehand, I'm going to start from the center to maybe, I think I'll cut it here. So I'll just select this entire excess part of the letter O and then cut it there, join that and erase that overlap. We want that overlap. Then after that, turn on the opacity of all the parts like that, merge them together. And now you have your letter S. Easy, right? Now let's bring it closer to the letter G. There you go. I kind of want to clean this up or like shorten it a bit. So let me just cut this little part right here so that I can bring it a bit closer. There. And the top part, I kind of want to cut this a little bit too. There. Yeah. This is just my personal preference, but it's up to you how much curve you want the top and bottom part to have. So there you go. An easy way to draw the letter S by just choosing two circles and aligning or connecting them with the diagonal, then just erasing the excess. Easy, right? So there you go. That's our second letter. Let's hide everything and open up a new layer for the third word or the last word, which is await. So for await, it's letter A. We already have the letter A, but I want to show you how to use this super easily to create a letter A. So you want to choose how wide you want your letter A to be. So I kind of want it narrow. So I'll just color drop that, bring it all the way up, aligning the base. Make sure you align the base to the base of the letter A like that, not the top part, because the top part is pointed. You want some overshoot. As you can see, for my template, I've already considered overshoots so that your letters will look just right. So the A is like that, and let's open up a new layer for the crossbar to make it easier to center everything. Okay, center this here, like that. Okay, I kind of want to extend this a little bit. So I want to extend it up to here. Yeah, I want my A to have some sort of extension like that. So I'll just merge these two together. Here we go. And adjust the height, maybe bring it lower here. Perfect. There you go. Easy as that. That's the letter A. So next letter is letter W. So if you don't know how to draw the W, but before that, let me show you the A. The A is the first one right here that I used. So for W, if you don't know, you could choose any of these styles. I kind of want to choose the center one, which is just a combination of two diagonals pointing down. So I think I'll just get this one, bring it up. Make sure you align make sure you flip it first, then you align the top there. Now let's duplicate this and move it to the side. There. Oops. Let's bring it closer a bit. There you go. That's our W. Easy, right? Let's just merge that. And the letter A for await, let's just duplicate the letter A and move it to the side like that. Let's move the A up here. Next new layer is the letter I. So basically it's just like a vertical bar, and align it to the center of the grid like that. Last letter is the letter T. So let's just duplicate this so that we don't need to get the vertical bar anymore. And on a new layer, let's get maybe a wider top like this. Let's just move it all the way up. There. Okay. And then let's merge. But before we merge, let's move this closer. Okay. So one thing about this is I feel like this has too much space. Unlike with A, W, and A, all of the sides are angled, right? That's why you can put them closer together because the angles match, right? But with the I and the T, it feels like this space is too big. So we want to try to make our letters interact with each other a little bit more. So let's push this closer, maybe like here. And then for the letter I, let's just shorten it like this. There. There you go. Easy, right? So we want our letters to interact as much as possible, because if we don't make this adjustment right here, it's going to feel like A are closer together and I and T are further away. So you want to have better spacing. So you could try that. Okay. Next is, let's just add a period. So I'll just But before that, let's merge the vertical and horizontal bars of the letter T. And then let's just add a period. Let's just move it here to the side. And then just, whoops, using rectangle, let's cut it out like that. There you go, period. Let's make it closer. There. Okay, there we have it. Now we can now hide everything. But before that, make sure you turn off reference on the template because it's going to be very annoying later when we're going to do the design. So a weight, let's bring a weight down. Oops, I forgot the period. Down right here. Let's center this. Then things, let's show all the layers. Maybe we could just group it so it's going to be easier. Oops, the group. Let's group our weights as well. And then let's show grid, but make sure we group them all. So things, center it like that. Wait, that's a weight. And now for grade. There you go. Great things for weight. What I like about this quote is that the widths of the letters are already like almost similar. So I don't need to do a lot of adjustments. But for example, the word great is too wide, right? You want to narrow it down. You can simply find letters like the letter E. You could just make the E narrower just to fit in a more narrow width. So yeah, you could always pick a certain letter and try to adjust its width so you can have a nice clean composition like this. For example, if the word things you want to spread it out a bit wider, the H, you can make the H wider so that the entire word is going to be wider. So that's the beauty of Art Deco. The letter doesn't have to have the right width. You could experiment with wider letters and narrower letters, and it makes your work look way, way more interesting and interactive. So there, we're done with our letters. Now, let's design this piece right here. So let me just group everything, and then duplicate that, and then merge or flatten it so that I have the lettering in just one layer. And then I'm hiding the source layer just in case I want to make some changes later. I still have those individual letters preserved. Okay. Actually, this looks great as is. I actually really like black and white letters, but of course, you want to step things up. If you're happy with this, feel free to end here. But if you want to design your piece a little bit more, we have some design elements included in the toolkit, specifically the geometric background. So we're going to use that. So if you have already downloaded that, you want to import that. So insert photo and then choose a background. I think this one. Yeah, there you go. You instantly have a background. Now you just have to style it to match the Art Deco theme and to make sure that your words are readable, because right now it's just black and white and it's a complete mess, right? So let's bring the background down and then hide the text layer first. We want to work on our background first. So let's open up a new layer below for the background. So for the background, let's color it black first. Yeah. Or maybe dark gray. So as you can see, it's dark gray. Yeah. Let's choose a lighter gray to make it more visible. Okay. Let me just darken it a bit. So this doesn't have to be like the final color. You could always adjust later, which I always do. I always adjust everything later because when we add more colors and like different elements, sometimes like the colors are gonna clash. So you don't need to worry about the colors now. Just color something so that you'll be able to see the background and the borders or like the Art Deco pattern. To make the pattern more visible, let's color it gold because with Art Deco, black and gold is such a classic look. So this toolkit actually includes some color palettes. So if you want to try something that's slightly different, but I really like the classic black and gold, black, dark gray, and gold combination for Art Deco. So let's do it for this project. But if you want to be more adventurous with the colors, go check out the color palettes included in the toolkit and try those color combinations. So let's select the pattern layer and color it gold. Let's turn on alpha lock and then let's choose like an orange color, yellow orange color, and then fill that layer. There we go. Next, let's open up a new layer and add some reflections. So we're gonna select like a light gold, a light gold color like that. And then just choose a giant brush. I'm actually using an eraser, but it's fine, it works. And then just do a little bit of like that. And then turn on Gaussian blur. Let's just blur it to something like this. Or maybe increase it a bit. Yeah, like this. And then turn on clipping mask. As you can see, before it was like flat. Now with the reflections, it looks like shiny gold, like that. And then feel free to adjust because I feel like the the darker side is too saturated. So I'm going to lower the opacity or lower the saturation a bit. There you go. And then maybe change the blending mode to screen. Does it make a difference? No, it doesn't make a difference. But anyway, it's fine. There you go. So we now have a shiny gold for the background or like for the pattern. Now let's color in our background because we don't want it to be just gray background. You have these sections and then let's color those sections in a different color. So to do that, open up a new layer, maybe two new layers below the pattern. And then let's turn on reference for our pattern. And then we're going to color the sections in two different colors, or we're going to add two more colors. If you notice, the design is symmetric, right? It mirrored into four quadrants. To make coloring easier, you'd always turn on drawing assist, edit drawing guide, turn on symmetry, and options to quadrant so that whatever you draw or whatever you color on one quadrant is going to apply it to the other side, which is going to make your life so much easier. It's going to speed this up 4 times there. But make sure that the layers have drawing assist turned on. So you want to make sure you see the word assisted there. Okay, now let's choose like a lighter color first, like a light gray. And then let's start to color certain sections. So you don't want to color sections that are beside each other. You want to try to balance and even things out. So spread it out a little bit. Just keep in mind you're going to have 3 colors for this. So let's drag it here, then continue filling. So you don't want it to add here because it's going to be beside each other. So something like that. Maybe this and this. No, we already have 2 here, so maybe just 1 right here. And then for the center, maybe this one. And that one, okay. Try to, try to balance it out. I think this one will do. And no, yeah. So I think this is enough. You don't have to color it exactly as how I did it. Okay, I think this one I want to erase that. So I'll just use a selection on automatic. Select that one, all these, because they're touching each other. So erase that, and then just transfer it here. I think that looks better. Okay, we're done with the first color. Now to the next color. Let's choose like black. So for this one, let me just lighten the background a bit so that it's easier for you to see where I'm going to add the dark color. So on the second assisted layer, make sure you select that and color drop. Continue filling. Then just try to add colors. Try to balance everything. Okay, it looks messy right now, but trust the process. Okay, there. No, it's too close. Yeah, I think this is enough. Okay, there you go. Now let's adjust. Oh, but before we adjust, let's add some textures first, because if we adjust the colors now, then we add in texture, it's gonna mess up with the colors a bit. So right below the grid, the golden grid, let's open up a new layer and then add some textures. So if you've been using Procreate for a while, I'm sure you have a lot of different textures already. So I didn't include texture pack here, or I didn't include some textures in this pack because all of my other packs already have a lot of textures. So I'll just borrow from one of my previous packs. So one of my favorite textures is from my tiles pack. Can only look for it because I have so many brush packs. Here you go, tile textures. So I really like the dust and scruff. So let me just, okay. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use red first, just so you can see. So before and after, okay? Because I normally just use black and white. But if everything's black, white, and gray, if I use those colors for this tutorial, you might not see what's going on. So I'm going to use red for now, okay? So you can see that we have enough of those red right there. And then I want to add some grains. So I want to add it above the gold. So open up a new layer above the gold, and I'll just use white. And then if you have any like grainy texture, use that. For me, I have like my favorite grainy texture is from my graffiti pack. Graffiti, here you go. I have like light splatter is graffiti background textures category, light splatter texture. Yeah, there you go. You see that? That looks nice, but I feel like it's too big. So I think I made a version wherein I reduced the size, like the grain size, the scale, I reduced it. So that's why I have this texture one. Let me erase that. There. See that? The grains are smaller now. There. Okay. I know it looks messy right now. It looks weird. So now that we have our textures already laid out, we can now start to adjust the background. So let's hide everything. But before that, what do you call this? For the texture, the red texture, let's just change it to black. So hue saturation, turn brightness to none. It's now black. Perfect. Now, for this one, for the background, the gray background, let's just darken it a bit. Okay, there. And then for this one, the next color, see that? This one, let's just make it really black, really dark. There. And for this one, let's make it lighter, but I mean, let's make it darker, but still not the darkest. So we still have like a pop of color right there. Look at it. Nice, right? So for this one, let's add like a vignette. Is that how you pronounce it? Like some shadows on the edge. So let's just open up a new layer right below the lettering. So right above the green, let's choose black. And let's choose, or let's use a big brush like this and draw like a circle. Hold it so that you get like a nice circle. And let's bring it to the center right here. And then let's color drop the outside. Oops. Make sure you turn off reference so that it's going to color it everything. Okay, wait. Turn off reference. There. And choose the circle layer. There. Perfect. Now let's turn on Gaussian blur. So it's up to you how much blur you want. So I kind of want it to be like this. Maybe for me, it's about 35%. Then I'll just make this bigger and make sure I center everything. There. I'll just bring the opacity down a little bit so that it's not too dark. That. Okay. Let's bring out our lettering and change it to white. Hue saturation, move it to the max like that. So as you can see now, like the words are overlapping with the grid, which makes it hard to read, a little bit hard to read. So, but before that, I'm irritated by this tiny line right here because of drawing assist. So you can switch that off if you're feeling irritated by it as well. But anyway, we're almost done. So let's just draw like a diamond shape. Okay. So, but before that, let's just remove the shadow and the reflection or like the shiny color and color pick this exact same color right there. And open up a new layer and choose a smaller brush. So you want the brush to have more or less the same thickness. So let me increase the brush size. Yeah, here. It has the same thickness. And basically I'll just draw like a square. And then using the smart shapes of Procreate, it's gonna turn it into like a legit square. Okay. So you can't see it. Let me just invert this. No, let me isolate it. There. So this is what I drew. Okay. I drew like a diamond. And then let me just bring this to the center, like there. And then I want to color the background. Okay. So let me hide the grains and textures and color pick this mid-tone gray that we used there. Then open up a new layer just below the new diamond that we created, and we want to add in or want to fill in the inside. So I'm going to use selection, select the inside, make sure the inside is selected like that, and switch layers, and then color drop it. There you go. Okay. Now let's select those two layers and center them. Okay. I feel like it's a bit too big, so I'll just make it a bit smaller. so that we don't hide a lot of the details. Yeah, I think this will do. There. It's slightly more readable now, but bear with me. Okay. So we now have that. Make sure you bring it down. Oops. Yeah, down there below the grainy textures. Okay. And then let's turn back the reflection. As you can see, the new outline doesn't have that same reflection effect. So let's just duplicate the reflection layer and move it up to that and clipping mask to it as well. So as you can see, before it doesn't have any reflection, now it does. That's what we want. Okay, I have it. And let's bring back the shadow as well, like that. And I kind of want to make the background a bit darker, just this diamond. So let me just make it slightly darker, just a little bit. Like that. And then let's add a shadow below the lettering to make it more readable. So let's duplicate that, select the bottom layer. I always want to add just a little bit of Gaussian blur, not too much like this. Wait, let me zoom it in. Okay, we don't want to add like super strong blur. We just want to add a little bit like that. And then let's turn it completely black. Hue and saturation, drag it to 0 over there. And then we want to bring it down a little bit. Like that. There you go. It's more readable now, right? So this is, zoom it in. This is before shadow, is with shadow. Before shadow and with shadow. It lifts the lettering up to make it more readable. And for this Art Deco, I don't want it to be very, very white. I don't want there to be any like very, very intense white color. So let me color this off white just a little bit. So I'm choosing a different color. Whoops, make sure I select the right layer. And to make coloring easier, I'll just turn alpha lock and fill layer. See that? Before it was white, white. Now it's a bit off white. There. Okay. Now you can make some adjustments that you want. So I kind of want to make the glow darker. Yeah, there. I'll just bring this up to around 90%. There. And I kind of want to make the gold dimmer. So I'll just, okay, I selected the background, what do you call this? The pattern, okay? And then I'm just changing, you can see this. I'm changing the brightness to dim down or tone down the reflection a little bit. 36%. So this is before and after. Yeah, I kind of want to leave it as is now. Anyway, yeah. And I feel like the grain is too white. So this is a green layer. I'll just bring the opacity down a little bit. There. I feel like it's too light now. So let me just adjust it a little bit. Actually, for this part of the process, usually it take a long time. In this part of the process, because I want to like make sure I get the finishing touches nice and clean. Okay, I want to adjust the spotlight a bit or like the shadows a little bit. I think I need to increase the Gaussian blur. Okay, yeah. So I increased the Gaussian blur and I duplicated it. Now I'm adjusting the opacity of the duplicate to get the right one. Okay, this is without the, what do you call this? The shadow. Now this is the one with shadow. It makes it more dramatic, right? So there we go. We now have our modern Art Deco lettering piece. We have strong, tight designs that we easily made using the template with no drawing required. We just selected the parts and then pieced them together because I designed the template to contain the different parts that's specifically made for Art Deco, and I already sized them properly to make it super quick and easy for us to recreate or to create any Art Deco lettering. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments and I would love to see your work. So if you create this piece, I challenge you to try a different color or try a different quote. And when you create those, share it with me because I would love to see your work. And since for this toolkit, I really want you to be able to create beautiful Art Deco lettering pieces. So in this pack, I included a 7-day challenge because I want you to practice this more because you can never be good at something unless you practice. That's why I included a 7-day challenge with prompts and an example so that you can further practice creating Art Deco lettering and you could check out the prompts and follow the exact letters or letter styles that I chose, or you can feel free to create the letters in different styles however you want. So make sure to do the challenge and yeah, I can't wait to see what you come up with. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.